Pero bago natin simulan, alam mo bang isa ang 1xBet sa mga leading betting company sa buong mundo? Kaya naman wag nang magdalawang isip pa at tumalpak na.
Now, I think the biggest thing about Soto that gives me pause is really assessing whether this is the right player for the Bulls, and not only taking him at number 18, and that being a huge stretch based on what we know of his abilities and the best players available at the center position in the draft, but it's the fact that you're talking about another center, another big, that isn't that gifted defensively. Like we've been saying all season, all off season anyway, and even throughout the past season, the Bulls must prioritize front court defense. The lack of interior defense rim protection absolutely killed the Bulls, especially down the stretch, with their inability to crash the glass, giving up too many second chance points, their inability to defend the pick and roll, and they were one of the worst shot blocking teams in the league last season, bottom 5 in fact. And the thing about drafting a guy like Soto, that doesn't really solve your big man problem, because it's one thing to just add a big man to the roster because you don't have any bigs, but it's more about adding the right bigs for this team. And Kai Sotto, again, based on my very superficial knowledge of him as a prospect after doing some research on this guy when everyone was talking about him, but based on what I've seen, both in the highlights as well as looking at his high school and professional numbers, he's not mobile enough to be a strong rim protecting defender in the NBA. I don't care that he's 7'2" or 7'3", when you don't have the footwork and the physicality and the strength to defend the paint, it doesn't mean anything in this league, or I guess I should say for the Bulls, because that's what they really need. Because again, the focus and priority for this offseason should be centered around adding size, but size and depth that will give you the energy and defensive tenacity needed to go with a perimeter defense from Lonzo and Alex Caruso. And based on where the Bulls stand right now, again, knowing that this isn't a team that is rebuilding and has time to work and develop project players for 5+ years, you have to be focusing on players that are going to help this team win now. Guys that I've talked about in some of my prior videos as free agent targets or trade targets, guys like Mitchell Robinson, Mo Bamba, Montrezl Harrell, even a Bobby Portis. I'm not saying these are all-star level caliber players that are game changers for the Bulls, but they're certainly going to be impact players in the immediate term versus a project rookie. Of course, whoever they pick at number 18 in theory is going to be a quote-unquote project. Like, it's very rare that a rookie selected 18th overall is going to be NBA ready and provide an instant impact in their first season. Again, it's even possible the Bulls might trade that pick after they make the selection just to get a more established player in a trade package. But even if they don't trade the pick, you'd have to think they're going to take the best player available and not focus as much on fit and figure out what to do with that player at a later time, whether it be incorporating them into the roster, developing them for the future, or trade them for another win now asset to a team that is looking to rebuild by adding younger players. And if they do look to draft the best player available, I can't see that being Kai Sotto based on where he's projected to be selected and just looking at all the talented prospects he's competing with. Most draft boards don't even have Sotto as a top 10 prospect at his position. And we look at the talent of guys like a Mark Williams, a Walker Kessler, a Jalen Williams, even an EJ Liddell, among others who are projected to go in the mid-first round. I just don't see the Bulls passing over players of this talent level for Kai Sotto, a player that would be a big risk drafting that high. I just think the risk reward there isn't in favor for the Bulls.